feel like I needed like the Return of the Mac playing or something, or like the whole, like Guess Who's Back, and of course I'm getting feedback because the YouTube thing is. Oh my god, I hate this. Every week my laptop has to like reset itself for some reason, and all of my settings revert back to whatever. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Same Old Arsenal USA. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm a cowboy. But anyway, don't know what we're gonna chat about. Everybody's got a few ideas of what we can talk about tonight. So, bottom line, here in about 15 seconds, we'll get into it. Yeah, so international breaks suck when it comes to something I was thinking about today, and I'll get into introductions here in a minute. How the fuck does FIFA do this? This is dumb. Every 4 games in the fall, there's an international break. If I'm a manager, if I'm in a high-ranking employee of a club, this is driving me nuts. There's like you just no sooner do you get into a rhythm, and bang, and then an international break hits, and you got to go off as a player, and you got to get into some other rhythm for your international. Like, this is stupid. Play the World Cup qualifiers in the fucking summer and be done with it. This goofy bullshit of taking weeks off in the middle of a season. Only sport in the world that does it. Anyway, we'll go around the horn. Stan, how are you, sir?
I'm all right, mate.
I went off on a little rant there. I apologize.
Just a little bit of the old foot fungal update. The stuff is working. It's working really well. So it looks like my toenail is going to survive. So we can move on. We can all sleep soundly at night.
I can breathe easier now. Not only because I'm COVID free, but because your toenail fungus is clearing up.
It's surviving, man. It's hanging in there. Literally hanging in there.
Literally hanging in there. I have a bit of bad news, unfortunately, because of my little bout with COVID here the past 2 weeks. I unfortunately was not able to attend Ryan Bachelor's party over the weekend. So inquiring minds want to know, how drunk were you, and is your asshole still the size of a softball?
Yeah, I want to keep a fifth on golf.
Wait, all he said was, that was it. So the shit is just falling out of you right now. Like, there's no pushing at all on your end. It's just
Anyway. Where did you go, Ryan?
I'd have a what's up, Sam?
Where did you go for it?
I just went to Philly. Went to Philadelphia. It was fun. Had a good time. It was good. It was a fun time.
You want to go on record?
I'll leave it at that.
For future,
Megan might watch the show, so it was.
I'm sure the video footage is going to surface at some point online.
I mean, I'm very disappointed that I have pictures, but they're not very incriminating. I have to. Well, they are incriminating, but Ryan looks like he's having way too good a time with the midget. So, and I don't know that blackmail is really I don't know that blackmail is really something we're going to be able to do here. So, because I feel like he's just like, yeah, sure.
Oh, you meant blackmail. Okay.
Well done. Well done. Yes, Glenn.
How long have you been doing this show with Ryan? Don't you realize by now he has no shame? So you can't put him with anything.
I don't know if I've rubbed off on him. That came out wrong.
Did a little bit.
Thank God I wasn't at the bachelor party. Woo!
The one thing I will say is the motto that we all adapted, which I don't even know how it started, but I got really drunk and I was yelling out, "Come is come!" And yeah, that's a little tidbit I'll give you guys on my bachelor party.
Okay.
Please move on.
And yeah, moving on. Glenn, how are you, sir?
Good evening, everybody. Salutations. It's good to see you guys again. I'm looking forward to talking about Arsenal and probably a little Newcastle too. And
hang on. Why do we have to talk about Arsenal? I want to hear more about Ryan's bachelor party. Fucking hell, let's talk about that for an hour.
And I'd just like to tell the viewers. Tell the viewers here that I'm relaunching my YouTube channel, and if you stop by and check out a video, I'd really appreciate it. Yep, I'm done.
Yes, absolutely. Stop by, give his channel a subscription as well. Yeah, we need Glenn. You and I need to actually have a serious conversation about. I'm
BG. I'm working on a video for you.
Hang on, a serious conversation with Glenn. Fucking hell.
Yeah, good luck with that. Right.
Yeah, with that.
Last but certainly not least is Rowan. How are you, bud?
I'm good. Hey, I'm good. Talking about black males, all of our males went and smashed it over the international break. Hopefully they save some goals and they come back and smash it for Arsenal, because this was fourth game, no goal. So yeah.
May I say something real quick, BG? Sure. And what you were talking about in the opening of the show, with these international breaks, they're not going to stop unless people stop watching the shit that they put on between the international breaks. What is Nations Cup? I'm literally guessing Nations Cup because I saw that written somewhere. You don't watch that shit, then they'll stop interrupting the season every 4 games. Every 4 games. All right, you're right. You got to stop watching, but they know people are going to watch. You people out there right now, some of you watched it. It's your fault.
Yeah. I've got a rant of my own actually. Like it's going to be my birthday day after tomorrow, and Sarah wanted to ask me what I wanted for the birthday gift, and I said that I'd love to go watch Arsenal, right? Like that's the thing, and I wanted to get tickets for, there's like a million things going on. So I wanted something like far out in March or April. So I looked at the calendar, and what they have is the whole match week 10 games that they say, and it all has the same kickoff time, and it all says Saturday, right? They have not decided till now who's going to play on a Saturday and who's going to play on a Sunday, because they'll decide based on TV and what comes on TV. TV is going to decide. The season is underway. And I'm not talking about like the last game of the season. I'm talking about 10 game weeks ahead. They haven't decided what times and which days teams are going to play. So
they did it last year with COVID.
Sorry?
They did it last year too.
They
only announced a month. Like they only announced like the games, like the month of games that are coming up. Like, okay, these are the month of games. This is the schedule that we're gonna have.
But Ryan, they've been doing this for a decade.
Oh, really? Well, I just noticed it when COVID hit. So,
but how do they expect people who are, if the biggest market is TV, then I don't want to hear anyone saying that match going fans are like greater, because clearly the Premier League itself thinks that TV is bigger than match going fans. and for international fans, like how are they supposed to plan their trip? I mean, are they supposed to like buy tickets like 2 days before the game or something? Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Hey, Rowan, it's like everything else in the world. Just stop asking questions. Just stop asking. Just don't ask questions. Just listen. Just comply. Just Rowan. The answer is always yes.
Rowan,
it has to be at the end of it. That's what the answer is.
Listen to this too. They don't give a shit about you. Whatever day that they play, there's going to be 60,000 people in the stadium. So they're going to hold out to the last minute, not giving a shit about you. Okay, where can we get the most viewers with this Arsenal game? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. Where do we put it to get the most viewers? They know that the stadium will be packed no matter what day they put it on. So they don't give a shit about you. So stop whining about it. I'm not
But-
whining. Just stop talking about it.
Think
Did
about-
I mention it's my birthday day after? Like,
think about this though. So Sky and I mean like the big broadcasters in the UK, they're the ones that determine this. But think about this for a minute. NBC over here is bigger than both of those broadcasters combined, first of all. And they have access and they broadcast every game. So NBC really shouldn't they be the ones dictating the schedules of the days and the times that are being played because they're reaching the biggest audience.
Well, yeah, but if we had the viewers in the United States, that watched like they do in England and around the world, that would be a different story. Here we still call it soccer,
But
and
but
e-
they
even
can't
though
even they can't even watch every game over in England, right?
no, the first rule in the contract when you're watching in England, the first rule in the contract is okay, bend over because you're going to pay for this, that, and the other thing.
no, that happens even in America. Even in America, how many channels and how many apps do you have to subscribe to just watch the Premier League? Till 2 seasons ago, you could watch everything just on cable. Now they have it on NBC. They have it on NBCSN. They have something on like Universo, Telemundo, like all of this
Don't
crap.
forget Peacock. Don't forget
And
the
then
pay-
Peacock. And
Well,
then
see,
Peacock.
To be fair with the NBC thing though, like NBC encompasses a lot. The only thing NBC doesn't encompass is, I mean, Peacock is NBC, but that's the only separate thing you have. Like that's the only thing you have to pay for, and it's $5 a month.
No, that's fine. But a lot of cable providers don't provide all of these NBC channels. So every one of them is an additional
Really?
channel.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
we
CNBC, USA, NBC, NBCSN, Golf Channel is they have the Golf Channel, they have the Olympic Channel, and I'm talking like for the games for like the last day of the season when every game is on at one time, when you have 10 games all kicking off at 10 a.m. here on the East Coast. Those channels are all part of a basic cable package here. If they're not, then I hate to say it, but upgrade to somebody bigger than whatever.
Yeah, I think
like my grandfather has Xfinity, and he's got and he does not pay the extra for like the NFL Network and MLB Network. He doesn't pay extra for that stuff. He has like the basic cable package that they offer, and he has all those channels. I mean, Xfinity is nationwide.
Right. I had got Sling because I wanted to like watch it online. Like I wanted to stream it instead of like having to watch it on TV. And that doesn't offer NBC. It has NBCSN, but it doesn't have NBC in it. Yeah. Like that's the thing. So I think I have to like move away from it and probably get another connection, which is like maybe $30 more than what I already pay just to watch the Premier League. And not even talking about like to watch the Champions League and the Europa League. Now you have Paramount, you have ESPN Plus for FA Cup, etc. Then so many just streaming apps. I mean, when I was in India, you could just have a sports pack, and that has everything. Like for $10, like you watch everything.
Yeah, I remember those
anything
days.
that you want. Like and they even had better coverage because NBC and this whole network doesn't have those. It doesn't have like Monday Night Football. It doesn't have those in-depth analysis shows. It has like just the two Robbies and this one Rebecca Lowe, who are not really analyzing each game, which happens on networks other than that. Like I don't know if they've got Sky, then why don't they just like telecast that here?
Stan,
there's a Premier League channel on Peacock, but that even doesn't have all of that.
Oh, that channel's awful. Go ahead,
Glenn. And these people on NBC also are so hyperbolic. After the first game of the season for Arsenal, they were all like, "This is it. It's over." It's like it's the first effing game of the season. So we get stuck with that. We get stuck with their fan fests where they invite a bunch of people to do these silly things instead of just watch the games. It makes us look terrible here in the United States. I'm done ranting.
Stan, what's it?
I feel like I woke up in this like parallel universe where on this earth, no one's ever heard of like illegal streaming like Total Sport Tech.
Stan, like it's over. Every 2 minutes, my family thinking I'm watching porn. I
can't trust that. Stan, I can't go into a game trusting that. Ryan, who I figured is the expert of finding anything online, told me, yeah, one of these links will work. Nothing worked. So I'll never take that chance.
No, Total Sport Tech. This is Stan's suggestion, and it works. It works, yeah.
But then you gotta go ahead, Stan.
I was saying in Canada, I'm a carrier. We have DAZN, and I subscribe to DAZN. But for example, we don't get. We don't get FA Cup games. We get League Cup games, but for whatever reason, they haven't got the rights to that. But I get everything else on there. Lots of NFL games. That's big on Sundays. They have baseball. I saw that Anthony Joshua fight on there without having to pay any extra, but they did.
Really?
That was on there. The one the other week, Anthony Joshua. There was no extra fees, but they weren't carrying, for example, the Wilder fight. It's obviously a different carrier going through someone else. I think that was through ESPN. So it's not bad, but I mean, it was only recently we had that game where there was it the League Cup game against Wimbledon.
Yep.
It wasn't anywhere, was it?
Nope.
That one, you couldn't find that anywhere other than that fucking hero sat in the stands with his phone.
So on that note, so people were broadcasting it to Twitter and Instagram Live and Facebook Live with their phone, using their phones. Excuse me. Apparently, Arsenal was trying to find these people to sue them for broadcasting a protected, like a copyrighted broadcast. And these people fought back and were like, there was no broadcast.
Exactly. So, it's not copyrightable if it wasn't broadcast.
If it doesn't exist, it's not copyrightable.
But is it?
So you have no leg to stand on. There were no television cameras.
Is their argument, playing devil's advocate, that you're taking people away from the Arsenal.com channel where they had the two commentators? They had that broadcast.
I mean, but they're not broadcasting the game.
Yeah.
You couldn't see that's the weirdest thing to me about that whole situation was there were no TV cameras in the stadium. Like Sky wasn't there, BT Sport wasn't there. So the only cameras in the stadium were Arsenal cameras. And that's how you got the highlights. But why wouldn't Arsenal, knowing there's a money-making opportunity there, right? So buy the Red membership for 25, 30 pounds, whatever it is. Buy the Red membership and you'll have access to this game that isn't being broadcast anywhere. How many people would be like, yeah,
the question is, though, why wasn't it being? I mean, all the other games were. I went on to DAZN in the morning.
Yeah, don't know why nobody picked it up.
The Arsenal one just wasn't there. And I was just like,
yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows why.
I was actually thinking, did my carrier not want to pay for that one or some shit? Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I thought, surely they pay for the Carabao Cup as a package, not individual teams, right?
Yeah. Don't know. Like I said, we
were playing that badly then. We weren't even worth the fucking bandwidth. Do you know what I mean? We wanted to be streamed on anyone's fucking channel.
Yeah.
Bandwidth.
Anyway, I guess we'll move on. I'm gonna kind of put this show out to you guys. Let's just, Stan, what's on your mind? We'll just kind of give us a topic, something that's been on your mind the past 2 weeks with Arsenal, and we'll just go around the horn and we'll talk about it.
I think one of the biggest things, and it does affect Arsenal, even if it's not directly, is this big takeover now that's happening with a club that is close to me because I've got ex-family, Newcastle. By rights it should have been a club that my old man would have wanted me to support. But it's massive news that when you make the comparison about money coming into football, and you look at Man City, who have a wealth there of about 25 billion, which is fucking astronomical. And then you look at this mob now coming in, and they've got like 325 billion. And you listen to, I'm interested to know what people think, and in the chat box as well, because don't get me wrong, I'm no aficionado on human rights. I'm aware of it. I know various regions of the world that are supposed to be the guilty parties, but I'm not up on it. But I am also of the opinion that, no, everybody's got skeletons in their closets. Some of them might have fucking cemeteries. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending on how big the crime is. I look at art owners, and as I understand it, on cable TV, they have cable channels dedicated to trophy hunting, whether it be elk, deer, or whatever it may be, and that upsets some people. You have to look at Walmart, which Mrs. Cronky owns, and I don't know the details. I think Rowan knows more about it, but I remember seeing snippets about, the workers and the conditions. All right, maybe they're not getting their heads and hands lopped off, in some of these other countries, but I just wondered what you guys feel about it. I mean, if I was a Newcastle fan and I woke up, and I know I have a lot of friends that support Newcastle, and they're just glad that it's no longer Mike Ashley for them. It's like something really big has been lifted. He's been a thorn in their side for ages, and they're just glad it's not him. But is it better the devil or what? So what do you guys reckon?
I'll go real quick. Ryan, you've barely spoken. I hope you're okay over there.
Over, mate.
I think this is very dangerous times for the Premier League, Stan. I think that we're going to have these super rich billionaire owners, like 3 or 4 of them in a sandbox, and the rest of us looking in. The Newcastle is eventually going to jump ahead of everybody and join Manchester City and Chelsea, and it'll be those 3, and the rest of us will be trying for 4th place. So anyway, that's my take on it. I think it's dangerous times ahead.
Ryan, go ahead.
I don't really have much of a thought about it. I mean, I'll probably assess more when they start making signings, but for right now, it's a very interesting time we're living in, just with that whole situation. And, it could happen to another club. It could happen to Norwich. It could happen to, it's starting to happen with Everton, but I think they're good. But, it could happen to, Brighton. It could happen to Watford. So I'm interested to see if this is going to be a trend, if people are going to start buying clubs at will, like people of that, with the, hairy backgrounds, I guess I'll be a little nice. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it because they haven't signed anybody yet. And I do feel for Joe Willock because I'm sure he's going to be old news soon for them.
He could have held off, might have got a lot more money for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true. But
they're probably at a level where they would probably be like, nah, we don't want him.
Yeah, they wouldn't want Joe Willock. But yeah, no, I'm not really concerned about it until they start making some signings. I'm very curious as because I think I read this, I forget an article where I read it, but they were saying how like their main guy is gonna be Harry Kane. They're gonna sign Harry Kane, and he's gonna be like the Alan Shearer for Newcastle, like he was for Newcastle, and they're gonna build around him, which be interesting to see. Once the deal's done, then I'll start assessing.
He kind of sounds like a Geordie, to be fair, already, doesn't he? The way
he'll feel right at home. But yeah, no, I mean it's shady dealings going on to say the least. But I'm not too bothered by it until they start making signings. And to be fair, too, I do, in a way, like the competition. I don't want all teams to be owned by criminals, but
how would you feel if you woke up, right, and those same people that are in charge of Newcastle had bought Arsenal? What would your feelings be?
I mean, I wouldn't like it because of where we're going right now at the team. But I'm not gonna fly to London and protest it either. To me, looking at it from a broader scale, I want it. It's tough. I'm like I bounce back and forth because I love the competition. I want more teams to get better. I think we're already the best, most competitive league in the world. And I like it. I like the fact that, Villa could hang was it Villa that hung 7 on Chelsea last season? Like it just like
No,
things
no,
like that.
no.
Or Villa did beat Chelsea. I don't. Someone hung 6
Villa and
on
Liverpool.
someone. Yeah, Liverpool, whatever. But yeah, like and Chelsea got reamed earlier last season too. You know, I like the fact that you could put a game on and you don't know what's going to happen, and that's the excitement of the Premier League. And to see more teams get better is definitely better for the league. Better for us Americans that watch it on NBC because they make a big deal about it. It's one of their crown jewels they like to parade around with. But yeah, it's tough when criminals get into positions of power like that, so out in the open. But I mean, I feel like it's been happening for years and years and years, and I think it's just now more accepting because it's like kind of like what Stan was saying. I feel like everyone's got skeletons in their closet. It's just a matter of do you have skeletons or do you have a whole cemetery? I don't know.
Rowan?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually I hadn't thought about it like that, but Ryan's right. Like we have to sort of wait and see what they do and whether they are so open-handed. But then the evidence that we have with Manchester City or with PSG is to say that they will also try to be as competitive, and they take over to win. They take over the club to take over the league, and that's fine. That's what the Premier League has become. If they had to stop it, they had to stop Roman Abramovich from taking over, right?
Rowan, do you think it's a bit rich where I've seen comments where Man City and Chelsea, who obviously were the big spenders before this mob, are like, fucking hell, like kind of pissed off about it. I think that's a bit.
Why? Like
Yeah.
as if Roman Abramovich is like he's been a school teacher throughout his life to get where he is, right? Like that's how he's got there. Or the Man City owners, as if they're they have nothing to do with anything, or like the Qatari owners of PSG, as if they have not had less than humane conditions and bribed people to get the World Cup there and shifted the whole footballing calendar for next year just on their whims and fancies, right? Like that is where it's become. So why is it like, why should you stop anybody else? I would have, why I'm so for all of this is because I was a big proponent of FFP, right? Like when FFP had come and Arsenal seemed to be the only club that was following it, right? And I used to think that when FFP comes about, then there's going to be some rule of law as such, and teams like Manchester City and Chelsea, etc., will not be able to get away with it. But over time, except for having, like, there are some Arsenal fans will be like, no, the class of the club, and we are more than this. It's a football club, right? And their main purpose is to play on the football pitch, and we get outplayed every week. And the reason is that there is not enough investment, and there's not enough engagement, right? And engagement doesn't mean that you just turn up every week and you give press conferences. I have never heard Roman Abramovich speak. I don't see Sheikh Mansour speak. All of these, their actions speak louder than words. So I don't know why Arsenal fans, have their noses up and be like, no, I would stop supporting the club if this were to happen. But this is how we would become competitive. Now we're
You
just
remember a few years ago when it was that Alicia Usmanov and Kroenke who were vying for the shares? There seemed to be a real big pushback on Usmanov, and I even heard a story where I don't know how true it is, but I remember hearing something like, Danny Fizman's dying breath was, on his deathbed, is don't sell the shares to fucking Usmanov. You know what I mean? So
yeah, as if Kroenke is any better.
All right, 30-second rebuttal. Ryan, you say you're waiting for trends. You see a trend already happening, so I think you're mistaken there. Rohan, you accept this. like it's just all going to work out. All right. This is becoming a small group of super billionaires. Chelsea and Manchester City are the only two Premier League clubs listed as not for profit in running their operations. Okay. Soon, I'm sure Newcastle is going to join them. The richest guy in the world is not going to buy Newcastle just like because he needs an extra comfortable pillow on his couch. He's going to want to win. I feel like I'm trying to ring the alarm bell that this is terrible for the Premier League, terrible for Arsenal and everybody else outside those three. I feel like that guy in Titanic that told the captain that hey, we got these icebergs up ahead, ice field, and he's just like, nah, go ahead, keep going, don't worry about it. I feel like that guy trying to warn everybody. This is bad.
I think what's going to be real interesting, and it could mean this could mean absolutely nothing. But if you look at, the PSG, you look at Man City, look at Chelsea, they're all hot spots. They're all like Paris is like a big city in France. Manchester is a big city. I don't see Newcastle as being like the hub of English football. Not saying they're not going to get people. I'm not saying they're not going to buy their way to win the league. I'm not at all. I'm just I'm interesting to see how that will affect the sale, affect them bringing in players, affect the playing and everything like that. And I guess by trend, I mean other small clubs. I guess Man City didn't win anything, but Man City it's Manchester. It's to me, Man City is almost like, your Yankee Mets for American people, your Rangers Islanders for like, as far as Americans, like two New York teams. So what is yeah, I don't know, but I'm interested to see how it will affect us because I don't think it's a trend yet. At least, I guess from my point of view, the trend for me starts with like littler teams being better. And I don't really consider PSG a little team. I didn't really consider Man City a little team. Yeah, they didn't win anything. They weren't any good. But again, it's just like it's just like a New York rivalry almost. So it's I don't know.
Just 20 seconds. Okay, first of all, I want to state that if this has to happen, I'm glad that it's Newcastle because those fans have suffered long enough. Now, going back to the other thing, you say I can't picture them being a big club, but you kind of mentioned Manchester City, which takes some of the steam out of my reply to you. Newcastle and getting all this talent and rising up the Premier League is going to win over new generations of fans, just like Manchester City did. Oh, and to answer Stan's terrific question, would I want that at Arsenal? I'd be pissed if it happened at Arsenal, but I'd probably get used to it.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Especially
Right?
every year when
The
you
only reason why we're complaining is
FIFA and you've got Mbappe and Haaland already in your team. You're like, fucking hell.
So
now, winning cures a lot of ills.
I think the thing that'll suck with that though is when you're.
I'm trying to be totally honest. I'm telling you, I'd be pissed and then I'd get over it.
I think the thing that sucks though is when you look at like a PSG, for example, with Messi, Neymar, and all their pieces, and Newcastle might get there. Man City, they're there too with their players. If that were to be us and we were to amass like an army, just like a team, the losses would sting way more. In my opinion, I don't know. When you have just like when you have Neymar and Messi in the same team, and you're in, well, to be fair, the French league is an absolute joke, whatever. But when you're in big competitions and you're losing, when you're getting money thrown at players, you're bringing the best player in the world essentially, and you already have a very good team that's Champions League level, Champions League final level. They could get there even without Messi. I think the losses will sting harder because you have such an all-star team, and then things don't go your way. I don't know. I guess in a way I wouldn't like it because I guess the weird thing is I just, as a fan of many teams growing up, I've never really been a fan of any team that was like an all-star team. I mean, you can see the Islanders, but that was before I was born. But yeah, I'm not used to this like all-star team just taking the field as one of the guys in the league. So I don't know. I honestly I don't really care. I'm not too worried about it. I'm worried about Arsenal, not worried about Newcastle.
So the thing for me is, and I've probably come down more on the side with Glenn, on this than anyone else. I mean, there is no club in English football that is beholden to English football. They aren't. There's no. These are completely independent businesses who have decided to come together and compete against one another. The Cronkies could pick up Arsenal and move them and file for an expansion team with the MLS and say, okay, we're just going to move Arsenal to. I don't even know where they could put the Kansas City. No, there's a team in Kansas City. I don't even know. They could basically go to the MLS and say, okay, we want to bring in an expansion team. And fuck it, just leave them in London. Just say, okay, here's our team. We're going to put them in London, and we're going to call them the London Gunners, or whatever the case may be, and they would be, and they could just leave the Premier League, be completely done with it, done, because the Premier League doesn't own the clubs. See, in the NFL, yeah, the Cronkies own the LA Rams, and the Rooneys own the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Crafts own the New England Patriots. Within reason. Every McDonald's in America is franchised, right? McDonald's are franchises. But they're owned by McDonald's. So you go up to a McDonald's and you'll see a little sticker in the window, and it'll say owned and operated by XYZ Holdings or whatever it might be. And that's the local guy that decided he was going to get into the McDonald's business, and he bought a couple of restaurants, right? So he's got a couple of McDonald's in this, in this one little area, and that's great. But he's beholden to McDonald's, the corporation. It's not like he can come in. Look, he's not Cleo McDowell from Coming to America, right? Right? It's they got the Big Mac. Yeah. I got the Big Mick.
They got the golden arches.
I got the golden arcs. Exactly. It's not like that, right? Like if you own a McDonald's, you make Big Macs. You don't get to pick and choose which sandwiches are on your menu, especially that one. So in the NFL, it's like, yeah, okay, the Crafts, they've got the Patriots and everybody that I just rattled off. But at the end of the day, they're beholden to the National Football League. My point being, in the Premier League, that's not the case. The Cronkies and Arsenal Football Club are not at all beholden to the Premier League. They choose of their own free will to play in that competition. To me, what this does is it opens up so many, and let me be perfectly clear about who just bought Newcastle United. Saudi Arabia just bought Newcastle United. Their wealth, they could buy the Premier League, for crying out loud.
Why can't the Queen buy Arsenal?
yeah, right. Yeah, why
not? Just fucking buy them.
Stan, can I ask you a question as the only person here that can be a UK representative? Do you know what a salary cap is?
Do I know what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that would ever be accepted in the Premier League, where you only have a certain amount to spend? Anything you spend over that goes to the teams below you?
Well, wait. You're talking two different things here. Glenn.
Oh, it is two different things. I thought that's
I mean, you're talking. There's okay. So National Hockey League, hard cap. This is the number you can spend up to. Hard cap, done. You can't go above it.
Is that on salary for the squad?
For the team, yeah. Now, what you're talking about, if you go above and beyond it.
Hang on, is it like you can pay each player whatever you want, but this is the number you can't?
Total 25 players will get 2%.
Well, no.
I mean, this number. It's up to you how you disperse it, but you can't go above that number.
In the NHL, it's a percentage. So one player cannot make over a certain percentage of the entire team's salary. And I don't know what that number is. I'm going to say it's like one player can't count for more than 15% of the total salary. So it's something weird. So it's not like, yeah, your salary cap's $100 million. We're going to pay this guy $99 million, and everybody else is going to get everyone else is going to get the credit. That
Let me,
it's
let me wait. Just let me simplify it a little bit for you, Stan, because I'm really interested in your answer. I know the UK does not like American ideas, but you did like that idea with the ref and the spray can. You took that one. But my point is, say they have a certain amount. They can pay players anything, but they have a certain amount for the squad. Okay, anything above that, they get penalized somehow. Let's keep those details out of the penalties, but you can go over it if you're willing to be penalized. Would that ever be accepted in the UK?
I think even if it was, there'd be ways around it. I mentioned before that there was this one player, I can't pronounce his name, Eastern European. He had a very low salary, but he had a goal bonus of 215 grand. There's all these things in their contracts where they can find a backdoor, image rights, this, that, the other. Do you know what I mean?
Kobe Bryant used to have a chopper bring him to the Staples Center as part of his contract, which was like he didn't drive there. There are just so many ways of going around it. But yeah, still, I mean,
all right. Thank you for shitting all over my idea. Back to you, BT.
That is a good idea. I feel like that is the only way at the end of it that you'll control it, because
it would never. First of all, it would never be a Premier League thing. It would never be a wholly UK thing. It just can't be, and because you have the European competitions to factor in, so you can't. So it would have to be a UEFA thing. And it would have to be UEFA wide. So every league in every country that participates that's a member nation of UEFA would have to come together in agreement of some sort of salary cap type system. And that's that. I mean, Glenn, I love the question. I don't know that it would ever catch on, but I think there's a lot more that goes. Unfortunately, it's just not as simple as, okay, England Premier League salary cap done. And because then you get into, okay, well, how do you apply the salary cap? Because unlike over here where it's trades, we don't buy players in North American sports. We trade players. We sign free agents. Whereas over there, you buy your players. So are you talking, is there a salary cap on the transfer fee, or is it a salary cap on the player wage itself? And then if you get into salary cap on player wage, well, what's to stop these guys from saying, fuck you, I'll go play in China. They're going to pay me $100 million whatever a year. Oh, and they're going to do it for me tax free. Yeah, whatever. Well, that's not a lot of yen in the grand scheme of things. That's not a lot of money, but you know what I mean.
Is going to China still that attractive? What was the name of that guy? Carrasco? Was that his name? The guy that went there?
Yeah,
never heard from him again.
I don't think anyone's going to play. I don't think anyone's going to play for Wuhan FC. So
Wuhan FC. Oh, we hand out goals and viruses for fun.
The sneezers. The sneezers.
And funnily enough, just touching on that, I heard the thing the other day that only a third of Premier League footballers have had their full vaccinations. Only a third.
Well, the NBA's made it a thing, but I'm not going down that road.
No.
But I don't like it. I don't like the fact that these. I mean, honest to God, like I said, this consortium that just came in and bought Newcastle, they could buy the Premier League for crying. They literally could buy every team in the Premier League with what they're worth. They could buy every single team in the Premier League. I mean, they could go and buy. Who's the second biggest club in France? Lyon. They could go and buy Lyon. So they come in, they buy Newcastle, they go and buy Lyon. Maybe they go into Germany and they buy up, Frankfurt.
But in Germany, at least they have that thing of like 51% is owned by these guys. And like if only wealth was the determining factor of how good your team is going to do, per se, even after Newcastle takeover, we are the third. I think we are the third. We have the third richest owner in the Premier League. So it's Newcastle. No, now we are the fourth. Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea and then Arsenal. We are the fourth richest. We have the fourth richest owner in world football. There's only 3 other football clubs that are above us. So we are basically number 7 Do we play like we are number 7 or number 4 in the league?
Well, are you talking what the ownership is worth or what the club is worth?
What the ownership is worth.
Ownership.
Yeah. I mean, the ownership not spending money thing like that this whole note that I'm really getting sick of that, because it's been proven time and again, especially over the last 5 years, we're spending money. We're just doing so very, very poorly. So the argument that no, we look how rich our ownership is and they don't spend any money. You just want them to spend more, thinking, well, I'll just throw money at the problem. It's like having a car with a flat tire. You keep buying new rims for the car, thinking, well, hey, look, the car looks good, but it still won't fucking move.
I agree with that, Tanner. They have
not
spent
you. I'm not saying you're doing that, bro.
But the point is that we have spent in the last 5-6 years. The issue was that we came to that position because for the 6 years before that there was no spending, because the whole time we talked about paying off our stadium, right? That was the problem, and we didn't have any spending before that. That led to so many issues here. Just look at Chelsea now, right? Spending, they got 5 players last season, all first teamers, all world class players, like no, not like ours, who I think are first teamers, most of them, but they are not world class players, right? Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Ben Chilwell, whoever else that they bought, right? Now Timo Werner didn't work for them this season. They went and bought Lukaku for 100 million.
That's what we can't do. We can't do that.
This one, do you remember the first season of Pep Guardiola? The goalkeeper was Bravo, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the goalkeeper. He didn't work out. The second season, he got this one, their current keeper now. That is how, like, if you see a problem, you try to fix it the next second. How many years are we sticking with Granit Xhaka? We can say that we are spending money, but that's
it's not the ownership who are picking these players. So don't sit there and blame. You don't blame Kroenke for Granit Xhaka still being part of the club.
We can't afford to go out and buy it. We can afford to go out and buy a Timo Werner. What we can't do is, if it don't work out as quick as we would like, we can't go out in the next window and buy Lukaku. Do you know what I mean? We have to persevere with it for a little bit longer, whether we can't afford it or whether they're just not willing to do that. We're not in that kind of a realm where we can buy similar players, but not at the frequency that a Chelsea can if it don't work out. Yeah. Timo Werner now becomes like a bench player to a Lukaku, right?
We bought Lacazette and then we bought Aubameyang like a season and a half later, right? So I agree that spending has been done, but there were years of not spending which like saw us slip to got us to that position, and now we are in such a bad position that we can't even like get anywhere, and I don't know if I'll tell you what, like I have spoken to a guy who's a Manchester City fan, and like truly he's been watching for a very long time, then the point that Ryan made, right? Like it will sting a lot more if you lose. First of all, you don't lose many matches if you're that. But like I have spoken to this guy when we watched the Premier League games, or we watched Champions League games where Manchester City has lost. You know what he said? He said that I am very happy. I am very happy with the ownership that they give me. Whatever, I cannot ask for anything more. They are doing everything in their power to make us win, and then it is a game. We go out there and we dominate. This is why Chelsea has spent money over many seasons, but many a times Chelsea has played like a small team, like on the counter, playing like the Jose Mourinho side. Since Manchester City has been bought over, be it Mancini, be it Pellegrini, be it Guardiola, they have always played on the front foot. Just watching that for 90 minutes, even if you lose, will be like a great thing if that happens to Arsenal. But I think like we have intellectuals who would rather have us suffer and fall down and down and down and like get us in the lower half of the table rather than rather than say that, yeah, this is what the sport is now. So bring out the coffers.
So real quick
I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm sorry. I'll be real quick, BG. I'm just tired of teams leapfrogging us. I know that a lot of you guys are not worried about this Newcastle thing right now, but it's just a matter of time before they leapfrog over us. I don't know what to say. We spent money this past transfer window, and now we're locked into.
You don't have faith in our team, Glenn?
Well, I like, you know what, Ryan, that's why I was just going to do that little but after saying something negative. I was critical of how they use this transfer window, but so far so good with these players that they've gotten there. So that was my but, Ryan, to speaking negatively.
So, Gary, real quick, I'll answer your question. If Granit Xhaka if a Rams player did what Granit Xhaka did, and I assume you mean rip his jersey off and throw it on the ground and everything else, flip off the fans, would he still be employed? Yeah, Gary, he would be. Come on, man.
I disagree with you so
much. Are you out of your fucking mind?
He would be released. I'm going to give
you nope, 2 examples, and this ends the debate because it just does.
Okay, go.
Ben Roethlisberger is still the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's been accused not once but twice.
Time out. You didn't specify who. He said a Rams player.
If a Rams player did what Granit Xhaka, you understand that Deshaun Watson is still collecting a paycheck from the Houston Texans, and he's been accused. I'm not saying he did it, but he's been accused of sexually assaulting 24 women, and he's still getting a paycheck. So, yes, the answer to the question is yes, he would still be there. Now, there's a big difference here, and I'll also demonstrate the difference. The Players Union for the National Football League is a very, very, very powerful organization. So that is why these guys, especially Deshaun Watson, I mean, the Steelers said with Roethlisberger, no, we're going to keep you. We believe that you didn't do this. We're going to keep you. You're saying a guy getting pissed off at the fans and flicking them off and throwing his jerk. NFL players throw their fucking helmets on the ground all the time. They get in fights with their coaches on the sidelines. Yes, they'd still be there because that's part of it is for right or wrong. Part of it is in the NFL. It's a bad comparison. It's just a bad comparison. Part of the culture in the NFL is that it is it's this game where you're on an emotional roller coaster, right? And it's what if a Rams player did what Granit Xhaka did, would he still be a fucking player? Of course he would be. That's not even a question. Question.
Let Ryan rebut you because I think I'm actually going to agree with Ryan.
I don't know, Glenn. I don't know how any of you could go ahead.
If the Rams player isn't a star player like Stafford, or even you could even
Jalen Ramsey is their best player, and I guarantee you, if he did it, he'd still be on the team.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
Yeah, I'm not. But any other player, they're getting cut the next. They're going bye-bye. If you're not Stafford, you're not Cooper Kupp, if you're not a star player on the Rams team, which there aren't that many of, they are a good team. And Darnold is good too.
You mean you just say Darnold?
Aaron Donald.
I thought you said Darnold. It's like saying Darnold.
I think I might have. I might have said.
Wait, did I miss a trade?
I think with there's so many players on a team at 53, and it's exactly what. And I was gonna kind of say exactly what Gary said. Gary said X isn't the best player in Arsenal. Roethlisberger is the most important player for the Steelers. Yes, and then I brought this up on this. I don't know why. I do remember bringing this up on the show. The famous, I think it was I think Dick had said this in an interview. I think it was Dick. I don't remember who it was. Whatever. I think it was the Cowboys. Troy Aikman was on the Cowboys. Troy Aikman falls asleep. Put it this way. A random player on the team falls asleep. Coach goes to the assistant, wake him up and tell him to get out. Gets out, they cut him. Troy Aikman falls asleep in the same fucking meeting.
You've told me.
Goes to the coach, goes, wake him up. And that's it.
And that was it.
And that was it. So
I think to sit there and say that X isn't the best player on Arsenal. Okay, maybe he's not the best player. None of us will make that argument.
We've resulted in just referring to the young man as X.
Yeah, right. But here's the point that nobody can argue. 4 managers. 4. Every single one of them has played him. Every single one of them really let's face it, the reason he doesn't have the captain's armband is because of his little temper tantrum. How the fuck are we on Granit Xhaka right now?
I know. I want to wait a few minutes, right? Unless you're all talking about.
Yeah, right. And this is
You
what
know
happens
what?
when you leave us to our own devices.
About fucking X.
All right,
I'm really upset.
Granit Xhaka seems to be like Rothschild, the way he's got everybody. He's on everyone.
I'm very upset because
I'm not gonna address Xhaka because then we'll talk about him for half an hour.
Okay, we don't have to.
I want to go back to what do you think of this point, BG? All right, because I want to agree with you, but I don't think you're on as rock solid ground as you think you are. All right, Stan Kroenke, the Rams are his team. They're his baby. If there's paintings on a wall in his room, in his mansion, Rams are up top. Arsenal's a couple lower down. For a player, any player, including a superstar, to come in there and smudge peanut butter all over his prized possession, they're out of there. He doesn't feel that way with Arsenal. Yeah, and by the way, I don't think you can compare. You just can't compare Xhaka to this. Okay, Kroenke's trophy is the Rams. You can't fuck with that trophy. You can't mess that trophy up. Do you think
that Stan Kroenke knows the name of every player on that Rams roster? Let me give you a better question.
No, exactly why they wouldn't be on the team if they did what Xhaka did.
Do you think that Stan Kroenke has any say in that whatsoever?
Yeah.
Do you know what Stan Kroenke does for
yes, he definitely has a say. You don't think he has a say?
Do you have any clue whatsoever how a professional sports team is fucking run?
I do.
The only owners in the world who are involved in the day-to-day is Jerry fucking Jones. The rest of them, that's what they hire these other people to do.
But if a team is getting bad publicity...
Stan Kroenke, I guarantee you Stan Kroenke doesn't know who his fucking kicker is. Guarantee you Stan Kroenke were in that room with you right now and you put a gun to his head and said, who's the kicker of the LA Rams? He'd be like,
it's Matt Gay.
All I know is I see that old evil fuck on the sidelines with the team. That's what, he can't even be bothered to show up at the Emirates.
See, I disagree with you, Tanner. I think the owners know more than you think. Arthur Blanks is on the field or on the sidelines more games than not. That's fine. But if a player does, throws their shirt, causes, because let's face it, in America, if that happened, that would be like ESPN would run that story all day long. Player does this. And if team's getting bad publicity, owner's stepping in. Oh, look what happened to John Gruden with I don't want to get into fucking NFL. I can't believe I'm doing this, but we're doing this. John Gruden had his emails, whatever. I don't want to explain this to you, but essentially the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders sent some pretty terrible emails laced with rants against multiple walks of life. The owner fired him. The owner had to step in, say, hey, we need to talk.
No, he didn't fire him. He didn't.
Whatever. Tanner, shut the fuck up. Semantics. I don't care.
There's a very big distinction between being fired and
no. Shut up. My point is the owner had to step in because the team was looking bad. John Gruden was almost fired. The owner then came in and was like, all right, well, something's got to go. Yeah, he resigned. Fine. But to say the owner doesn't do anything, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Can we go back to questions for each of us?
I don't even want to talk. I wanted to fucking talk about my beer of the week like 20 fucking minutes ago. Now my beer doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, guess what, boys and girls? Bridge & Tunnel Brewery. It's get in, shut up, and hold on because I had no fucking clue what we were talking about. And I guess you got to hold on to the taxi cab.
Stan brought up Newcastle, and 40 minutes later, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Hang on, Ryan, what's it called again?
Get in, shut up, and hold on.
I like that.
Bridge & Tunnel Brewery. Yeah. Because I said fuck it because I didn't know what the fuck we were talking about.
Hold on. That sounds like a beer for me, man. You know what I mean?
There it is.
My missus says that to me. My missus says that to me almost every night before I go to sleep. So, shut up, get in, and hold on.
It took a second, but I got that. Hey, go to me. I got a nice, easy thing I've been thinking about.
Hang on real quick, because I got to get to the bottom of this. If I gave my dog to a daycare and the dog came back with scratches or bald patches, Kroenke would be me and Arsenal would be my dog. And then
I don't get it.
And then he said, yeah, and he says, what do I do in that scenario? I'm sorry, this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't what would I do? I would be questioning the daycare. Who's the daycare in the situation? As it pertains to Kroenke and Arsenal, who's the daycare? Who are they?
Oh, I thought Kroenke was the daycare.
No, it says Kroenke would be you, and Arsenal is the dog. And this doesn't make. I don't know. Does it make sense to anybody else? Because it doesn't make any sense.
You've given your dog to the daycare center. So your
Kroenke gave Arsenal,
and then
Arsenal is the dog. You've handed over your prized possession to someone for the day to take care, and then they've absolutely messed it up. That is what has happened. So what do you do? That is the question, right? Like, I mean, that's
it sounds as well that your dog is obviously going to the same hairdresser as Rob Holding as well, by the sound.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're looking, if you think this is it, and then Glenn, I'm going to bring in. If you think that ownership has a say, let me rephrase: the majority of sports owners have a say in the day-to-day operations in terms of their sport with the roster. You're absolutely fucking out of your mind. They have,
but a player throwing their jersey, is not a day-to-day thing.
They choose not to have a say, but they can have a say, of course.
They can. I know. I didn't say they cannot have this. I said they don't. They do not. Yeah. They can. They choose not to, unless it's Jerry Jones.
I mean, they're busy making billions, which made them the owner in the first place. They don't have time for all of this. But the thing is that it's about passion, right? Like, I don't think Roman Abramovich would care about what the tactics are, who's playing, who's not playing, all of that. But what he cares about is, as soon as he sees that my team is slipping, then he will call up that Maria, whoever that person is, right? And he will be up her ass, and he'll be like, what the hell is happening? And you take whatever action you have to take to get us back. Otherwise, your job is in threat.
I mean,
it's delegation, right? Like, who is asking him to come and do something? Like, being involved doesn't mean that you need to check, oh, this guy is injured and why is he not playing? Why is he playing out of position? Why are we playing this formation? It's not that. It's results oriented. That's how their businesses work, right? Are they involved in the day-to-day operations of, do you think Jeff Bezos thinks how his Amazon delivery center is working? He doesn't for once.
So I'm confused here then. So Tenon, so you're telling me that when I can't believe we're still talking about this. So you're telling me when Gruden got into trouble, his meeting with the owner didn't happen? You're saying that never happened?
I mean, I haven't heard, of everything I've read about it, I've not seen anything.
Yeah. Well, he did. He met with Mark Davis, who, by the way, is probably I don't want to say he's the stupidest owner. He probably is the stupidest owner.
He's not smart.
And if it's, I want to show you guys a picture of the owner. He looks like the biggest. You think Stan Kroenke's a bad owner? You can see a picture of this guy. You'll be like, this guy owns an NFL football team. Like, yeah, he does. He looks like a fucking. He's like a fucking idiot.
Wait. To be fair, it's not like he went out like built up this empire where he was able to buy an NFL team. He fucking inherited.
His dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So point is if.
Was there a meeting? Yeah.
I agree. No, listen to me. The only thing I'll say is this. I agree that an owner doesn't get involved in day-to-day operations, but when you have a player throwing a tantrum on the field, it doesn't matter. Stuff like that is not day-to-day. Infighting, that's fine. Throwing your shirt, taking off your pads, pretty much stripping. That's probably the equivalent in football. Although, granted, the football is different because they have like unions and stuff. So I don't know how that.
There's a players' union in Europe too.
Oh, it is.
But it's.
But I just think like something like that isn't day to day. An owner would have to get involved because your team is now front page of the news, and you're going to be talked about, and you have to. Maybe not you, the owner specifically, but you have to do damage control. It's your team. Your team is in a negative light. You're not gonna.
I think the NFL comparison is just a bad comparison because
it is
in that league. Because I think if the Granit Xhaka situation happens in the NFL, look, the fact is it does, and whether it be because he's pissed off at the fans or whatever else in the NFL, this look. The fact of the matter is this: you want to talk about culture? I'm going to say it, and I really don't give a shit. Look at who's performing the fucking halftime show of the NFL this year. A drug dealer, a wife beater, and Eminem. And God knows there are enough skeletons in his closet. That's the halftime show of the NFL this year, ladies and gentlemen. That's not art. I keep hearing people say just separate the art from the artist. I'm not talking about their music.
The names of the people performing. Is it Eminem?
Snoop, Dr. Dre, and Eminem.
Okay.
That's your halftime show for the NFL.
It's a good halftime show.
So there is. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, but the NFL wants to preach culture. There's your culture right there, folks. Three criminals.
And Ed, PG, their core group they are looking to get to watch are Ryan. And what did Ryan just say? Good concert. Okay, so what was I thinking about this week?
Yes, please get us off this.
Oh, you're skipping me, Glenn? I see how it is. Okay, fair.
Haven't you had enough of this Xhaka LA Rams talk?
No, I did. I wasn't. But yeah.
Happy that Jack Wilshere's training with Arsenal. Disgusted.
Oh my God.
Disgusted.
Can we go back to Xhaka, please?
Sorry. Oh my God. Can I get a word?
I'm kidding.
Are you my fucking wife? Oh, gee, you got me spitting on myself. All right. So happy that Jack is back, just training. I don't expect anything, but you never know. And disgusted about talks about Ox because I barely rated him when he was at Arsenal, and when we sold him for 27 million, I was ecstatic. So that's what's been on my mind, and I was surprised because I was on Mike Hurt's show, Not Another Arsenal podcast last night, and two of the guys are like, "Nah, we don't want Jack back. No. But we all agreed we didn't want Ox back. So if I could just ask you guys to go around and tell me what you think about Ox and Jack.
Well, I'd rather have Oxlade-Chamberlain back in the team than Jack Wilshere. If we're gonna compare, if you want to do that. But no, I don't really. No, I don't want Ox back.
Okay.
I think with Xhaka out for 3 months, and then with Partey out for African Cup of Nations after that, I think I would have Jack Wilshere on a pay-as-you-play contract. I mean, he brings heart to the team. We've got a lot of players from the Hale end who have now broken into the team. They all look up to Wilshere. And one thing about Wilshere, for the limited time that he has played, has been that he has never lacked heart. And Arsenal, the team, lacks heart. And Oxlade-Chamberlain, the way he threw the tantrum to leave, and he thought he was too good for Arsenal, and then he goes there. And when he's going to come back, he's a Champions League winner and he's a Premier League winner. He's going to have his, nose in the sky. There's nothing left for him to give to Arsenal. But this Jack Wilshere, we're talking about his whole career. I don't think that's a bad move for Arsenal. I would take Jack back and on a pay-as-you-play contract, so it's not like we're paying him, crazy fees, and we've got a shortage in that department anyway. So why not? That's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm total bobblehead with you on that one. I agree with everything you said. My head never stopped shaking.
Stan?
Basically, not far off what Rohan said. Personally, if we don't have to, I wouldn't want to go back and draw either of those two wells.
Yeah,
because we've moved on from that. But the difference being is, and Rohan's quite correct, that we are short in the midfield. We will be even shorter when the African Nations Cup comes around. And if you've got a guy that's training with us, and the caveat has to be that he looks to be up to the required standard, and he may come in and fill in for a few games until the January window opens, then so be it. As long as it's not a permanent fixture, and we don't use it as a lazy route and offer out contracts and stuff like that. And at Oxlade-Chamberlain, it just never really happened for him. And I would say that he was a player that had a lot of goodwill from fans. The fans really wanted Oxlade-Chamberlain to do well, but he was so hampered by injuries. And I think looking at his performances for Liverpool this season, he's had maybe 1 or 2 starts and maybe a few off the bench. He seems to be on their fringes, but why are we going to go back there? I just see that he'd come back and then he'd be on a treatment room again at some point.
They both would be.
Yeah.
Both injury prone.
Yeah, but at least with Wilshere, if you're managing it on as a pay as you play just to like get through because we are short, I understand it. But bringing back Oxlade-Chamberlain and giving him an actual contract, fuck it, let him go to Newcastle.
I just don't understand.
Goodbye for them as well. That would be a good thing. You know, if Newcastle look at players where, you know, you can't go out overnight and buy Ronaldo and fucking Mbappe. You got to make that build slowly. So if you go out and get a big name like your Harry Kane, because it's obvious that he does want to get away from Tottenham, and then you use players like, you know, I'm looking at players for Newcastle like Anthony Martial, Lingard. These players that are not mainstays in their team, but they've still got a bit of a name about them. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even Alexis Sanchez, we could put him in there. You know, and Oxlade-Chamberlain would be another one, you know, to go to a Newcastle. That would be something that I kind of understand what they're doing there, right? But not to come back to Arsenal.
Ryan, what were you going to say?
No, I don't understand. I mean, this all you guys know I'll respect you guys and love doing this with you guys, but I don't understand. I don't get the jerk off fest on Jack Wilshere. I don't understand it. I know, Tanner, you're going to probably jerk him off too. I guess I'll get you there and I'll cut you off for a second. Let me get in. You know, he couldn't even find minutes at a championship level Bournemouth. What makes us say he's going to be a solution to, you know, it's going to be like a month. I think AFCON's a month long. So who's to say he's going to help us, a team that's getting younger, getting better, getting faster, getting just, you know, we're doing this thing. Jack Wilshere doesn't fit this thing that we're doing, but let alone he couldn't even play for a championship level team. So I don't understand why we're like actually like I pay as you play. It doesn't matter what the contract is. I don't understand why this is like a debate. Like it's just he's not good enough. He's not going to be good enough. And I get it. You guys want to hold on to like, oh, he was supposed to be so good, and you want to hold on to that. Like maybe he can still do that. He can't. And I feel bad. You know, it's a shitty situation for him, and I'm glad we're helping him out. I guess train. Maybe he's posting a lot of stuff about our academy, and he reposted our hard-fought Newport win today, which was a great game. So that's awesome. He's helping out the younger guys. It's not like he's really tricking. Yeah, great, awesome. So put him on the coaching staff. He should not step anywhere near an Arsenal football pitch. And I think it's so obvious.
No one
play
said
as you play or not.
Like, giving him a contract, right? No one said we should be signing him. We're saying, like,
but he's not going to be playing as you play. He's not good enough.
We're saying, should we be that short with the African nations? And let's say there's an injury on top of that as well. Someone that hasn't gone away as an injury. Meanwhile, I got Jack Wilshere training, and he's looking good. You know, he's not. He doesn't. You know, you can't put him in for a game. Maybe here. That's what we're saying. No one's saying that he should be fucking a mainstay.
5 years signing.
But I guess my point is he's not going to be looking good. Like even in training, if he's the best player on the field, he's not gonna. It's not gonna change the Premier League. He's just not gonna do it. And he's not.
Why?
He's not. What do you mean? Why he couldn't? He's not.
That's a
mischaracterization
of what you're saying. He was playing continuously for Bournemouth. Then they changed their manager, and they went in a different direction, like you said. Like, and that's
a fact. He could not find minutes in a championship level team. That's a fact. That's why they released him. They got rid of him because they had no use for him. A championship team, and you're saying he's gonna. you're saying he's not. It's. I get it. I just feel like you guys are, and again, and I don't mean this like I don't mean offense. I swear I don't. I feel like you guys live in a fucking fantasy land that you think Jack Wilshere is gonna put on the Arsenal kit and he's gonna fucking win us the fucking league. Like I just don't get it.
No. I don't think anyone thinks that.
I just want to get a rise out of you. I know you guys don't think that. I was just going to get a rise out of you.
He will win us the league as much as El Nani would win us the league.
That's 100% wrong. That's 100% wrong.
We big up the Egyptian king every week, right?
That's my. So you're admitting you live in the fantasy land. If you think he is on El Nani's level, as much as you
it is Arsenal that is at that level. That is what I'm thinking. I'm talking about the reality. What fantasy land are you living in where you think that Patrick Vieira is playing for us?
Have you seen the players we have?
Pairing of Patrick
You think
Vieira
Jack
and
can get into this team?
and Emmanuel Petit.
You're living in a fantasy land if you think Jack Wilshere can get
We
to
have
this
got
team right now.
We have got
Fantasy land.
Partey, who is going for African Cup
Cool.
nations. We have got Xhaka, who is injured for 3 months. We have got this 21-year-old who has come from Anderlecht, who's been playing. He will have some off days. He will have some good days.
Okay.
And we have got El Nani. This is our midfield.
And you got Anthony Maitland-Niles. Let's not forget AMN. You have AMN.
Is Xavi and Iniesta playing?
You have AMN. All three of them way better than Wilshere, by the way. All of them way better than Wilshere.
All right. Enough of this.
I don't get this.
If you say we're in fantasy land again, I'm going to jump through this fucking computer and strangle you. All right. It's not fantasy land.
Hey, Glenn, to be fair, if we aren't in fantasy land, you definitely could choke me. You definitely just reach on it. You reach on it.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done with your fantasy shit? Stop putting thought bubbles over.
Let me ask a question. Just
look into a mirror, play Fantasyland 3 times, and Glenn pops up behind you like Candyman.
Yeah, right. Puts him in a rear naked choke, right? Let me ask a question. Is it not possible, under any circumstances, it is not possible, it will not happen. You put it on par in terms of not happening with your ability to walk on water, that a player can find himself later in his career.
Yes.
Hang on. Is it not at all possible, Ryan, that a player who has been injury prone his whole career can, start at a club, it doesn't work, go to another club, it doesn't work, go to another club, it doesn't work, but then 28, 29 years old, all of a sudden I don't want to say the light bulb goes off, but the cylinders all fire the way they're supposed to. Is it not at all possible? No.
Wait, before
it's not at all possible. That can't happen.
29 years old.
Wait, Ryan, please, I'm begging you before your 10-minute rebuttal, please.
No.
Please.
I just said in his case.
I said for anyone. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking anyone in any sport.
In football, I think it's like maybe we.
Okay. Wait. Okay, but it's possible.
With his record, no. I don't think no. No, I'm saying no. No.
It's not possible.
With his injury record, with everything that he's done, it's not possible. I personally don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Maybe he can work on water. That'd be great.
Okay.
And to be fair, let me put it this way: if he does get to play as you play, and he plays a game for us, he plays a couple minutes, and he fucking puts in tackles, and he's playing really well. I prove me wrong. I hope to come on here and you guys all point and laugh at me for fucking 20 minutes.
All the time anyway.
Oh, fair, but it's like more than usual. I'll wear that badge. I don't care, but it's not going to happen.
I just want to add to BG's thing real quick, and then I'll shut up and listen to you guys. All right. Last chance saloon. That's what BG's talking about. This is his last chance. He's training with the team he grew up with. All right. So, oh my God.
This will be his 4th.
All right. You know what? I realize that. There are advantages to being married, but it doesn't happen for like 20 years. Okay. There's no way that I can argue with you. I've come to that conclusion. Yeah. So I'm going to shut up and stop wasting more breath on you talking. I'm not conceding your points. I'm just saying, I know you're never going to change your mind or stop dancing like a fucking hobbit.
I mean,
get a clip.
I'm not saying he's on this level of fitness because he clearly isn't, and no one else in the world is, to be honest. But Tom Brady's doing it at 45 years old.
Different sport.
Excuse me, 44.
Different sport.
But the other example is Eden Hazard, right? He played for Chelsea for 7 seasons. He was hardly ever injured. He missed like 10 games.
It's the exact opposite. Like,
and now. Yeah. He's played like 10 games for Real Madrid over 2 seasons. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
The only
it's not possible. You know that's bullshit. I
don't. For Jack,
it's highly improbable. You can't say that it's impossible.
Why can't I? For Jack Wilshere, I don't think it's possible. I
didn't ask you about Jack Wilshere. See, you're changing the question.
Okay, fine.
I said a player in a sport. Is it not possible?
A sport? Yes. Football? No.
Why not? Tell me why it's not possible in this sport for a player.
Physically demanding sport. Once you hit 30, you're old news. Aubameyang is. I don't want to bring up Aubameyang. Well, I do want to bring up Aubameyang later, not right now. But
well, you know what? Let's just segue into Aubameyang. You wanted to bring it up, so go
no,
ahead.
no, I want to finish this real quick.
Finish it and then get into Aubameyang.
I think no, I will bring up Aubameyang, but not about what I'm talking about. I just personally, playing football, I don't think it's possible to have an injury record that he's had and to all of a sudden be a Premier League player. I won't even say starter, just a player that is useful to us in the Premier League based on the demographic we're trying to get, on our team, and based on what we're trying to accomplish. Jack Wilshere is the opposite of that. So I don't understand why this is even possible. And I think it's
because it happens once in a while.
I think it's
because you gotta have heart, like that old song. You gotta have heart.
Hey, Glenn, I'm not
Sheffield
going to say the F word.
Sheffield United had such a great first season in the Premier League because they had heart, and Jack Wilshere has heart. And who went? Who left?
Rohan. I'm not going to say the F word, Glenn, but I think you're watching way too many Disney movies. I'll leave it at that.
Santi
Cazorla seems to be having a second lease of life over there in Spain.
Who?
Santi Cazorla. Bad injuries.
Almost. I should probably specify English league because I do think
But
time out. He's not even in the Spanish league. He's playing for a team in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, Saudi Arabia then.
I think he got a player of the season.
He was in Spain for a while.
Hazard is the opposite.
No, he was. Yeah.
Hazard is the opposite because he played in the Premier League and never had injuries, and he's gone to Spain and he's had all the injuries.
Hey, I love Santi. I think the super downfall of Arsenal started when we didn't replace him when he left.
So, bottom line is, none of us expect Jack Wilshere to come in and be the missing piece to us winning the Premier League.
Yeah. I was totally okay. Whatever.
I know you were kidding. I know you were kidding.
I obviously think
the bottom line is this: none of us are in training. And the caveat that I'll put on that is this: it's training. You can't duplicate game speed and game action in training. But we're not there. We don't see the strides that he's making, if he's making them at all. So if Arteta thinks that there's a role for him to play, then let's go.
It'll be on his coaching staff, and he'll be.
And you know what? He's going for his badges too while he's working with Arsenal.
Give it a couple of weeks, you'll see him playing for the under-23s behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I heard he scored the goal against QPR when we did it. He scored one of the goals when we played behind closed doors at QPR. That's what I heard. So I think he'll be a great coach. What's
the Aubameyang thing you wanted to bring up?
No, I just wanted. I didn't think I would get psyched up this early because I was kind of. The whole
look at Rohan balling his fist up.
I know. Yeah, right. I know. I wasn't really. I don't really give a fuck about the Newcastle thing. The FCC won't let me be. I don't care about any of it. Speaking of Eminem, can't wait to watch that time show. I wanted to get fired up. We fire Rohan up, maybe. I don't know, but I think Aubameyang is holding us back, and I'm nervous as to what we're going to do in January because you have to loan Balogun out. I'm very curious as to what we'll do with Eddie because apparently he's not signing with us, so he's going to be gone. And Lacazette is at 1 year left, so Lacazette's probably going to go somewhere. So we're going to have to, in my opinion, we're going to have to buy a striker, right? Something's got to be done with that.
When did you come to the conclusion that you think that Aubameyang is now just recently or for a while? Or
it's kind of been an ongoing thing. I don't know. I think for right now he's the best that we got because of Lacazette's situation. But I just been slowly thinking that. I don't think, and don't get me wrong. And I said this multiple podcasts. I've loved Aubameyang when he was on Dortmund. I've always been a huge admirer of his when I was growing up. Well, no, I'm older than him. So when I was really playing into my late college years, and then when I left college, I play like him where I was always a striker. I love the through balls. I love to run and all that. So I loved him. I loved him as a player. When there wasn't many people that I was in contact with that were more. There was actually nobody that I was in contact with that was more excited about Aubameyang signing to Arsenal than me. I was fucking a huge fan. I think we got him a year too late, but he's still done good things for us, and I'm happy he came. I just think given the current situation with our 3 other strikers, I think that makes Aubameyang like he has to start for us every game.
Do you think the problem comes quickly? Do you think the problem is with him, as in, I don't know, to simplify it, he's just not very good now, or his powers are waning? Or do you think, like some people, like BG thinks, it's not literally the player, but we've got to move him on because he doesn't fit what this manager wants, his system is providing him?
Yeah, I it's interesting. So I think if we got a new manager, I think he could probably produce more and be better. I still think he is hindering the growth of a lot of our players. I think Lacazette just plays better with what we have. Not to say we can't upgrade on Lacazette. I think we totally can. I think we totally should. But you just have Aubameyang, who everyone loves. And why not? He's a lovable guy. He's a likable guy. I like him. He's a captain of this club. And I don't foresee him losing that armband, and unless X walks in, or unless he pulls an X, or he leaves the club. So you're really you're in a rock and a hard place because we're looking for goals, we're looking for creativity. I don't even think we're looking for creativity. I think we're just looking for goals, and it's just a very interesting situation on how we could address that because I don't think Lacazette's resigning. I think he's gone. I think Eddie's gone. And Balogun's got to go on loan. He's not ready to play for the Premier League. But then when you watch him play for the U23s, which I have done this season, he's played, I think, three games for the U23s. He's levels above. He's levels above everybody. It's like not. It's just like him playing like in the schoolyard. So it's just. I think it's a big hole or a big thing that needs to be addressed. But it's tough because you have Aubameyang, your highest paid player, your captain, the most popular boy in school, which he is, and rightfully so. But our issues are starting to kind of, I think, getting worse and worse. And I think we need to do something about it. And I think again, I'm repeating myself, but I'm saying
another question.
I think about being is
wait. Stan, please wait just 1 second. Ryan, you know that I love you. Ryan, you know that if I feel I insult you on the show, I DM you and apologize and tell you I'll apologize live on the air if you want me to. So please understand what I'm about to say. Okay, my autistic son has more focus than you. You don't have to go over every freaking thing, my friend. You're driving me crazy. Aubameyang is well loved. He's liked by many. I like him. His mother likes him. Just go on. Just go on.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'll apologize to you later in the DM.
Glenn, stop. You don't have to. It's fine.
First of all, right, Glenn, you never send me DMs apologizing. But the question that I wanted to ask Ryan is, if you were making the choice tomorrow then to buy a striker to replace Aubameyang, what are the attributes or traits that he needs to have that Aubameyang doesn't have, which is why it's not working?
Hold up play, physicality.
Yeah. Totally agree with Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, really, you want hold. I mean, if you're buying a striker, you have to assume this player knows how to score a goal. So finishing should be obviously a thing. But I think Aubameyang can finish. So, but yeah, what Aubameyang doesn't have is easily, it's physicality and hold up play. I think it's something we lack tremendously, especially when we're putting all these crosses in. Doesn't really make much sense.
Amen. Kid nailed it.
Thank you, Glenn.
Anyone else?
No,
I
thought Roman
was
was
been so nice to Ryan for the last part of this show.
No, because like I think I'm with Tanner on this, where the system that we play doesn't suit him enough. When we were playing against Tottenham and the way that we played, everybody was happy with Aubameyang. Nobody complained because we were playing on the counter. That's how you have to play with Aubameyang. He's not good on the air. You know that. He didn't play well against Brighton, but like none of them did. There was no service for him. That's the reality of it. I think if he plays in a Liverpool or somewhere else, he scores many more goals. If he plays for City, he scores many more goals. He doesn't score goals here because of the way that we play. And I don't think that is, that's any sort of reflection on what he is as a player and that he suddenly lost it and all of that. It's just the way that we play, and I don't think that that's the smartest way to play. So I can't blame Aubameyang when I don't
He misses so many
believe in the
sitters,
system
man. He
and
misses so
believe
many
that that's the
sitters.
smartest way to play.
Well, Tanner's been saying for a while. Tanner's been saying for a while it's the system because Tanner, you're not sold on a Tanner. I can't believe I called you Tanner.
My name. That's what my mother named me.
No, I picture that kid from the
It's
bed.
in fact his name. I know.
I know, but I picture that when I hear that name, I picture the kid from the bed.
The short. That's who I'm named after, Glenn.
So BG, you've been saying for a long time that your problem with Aubameyang is not him as a player; it's the system. Do you still feel that way?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll disagree with Rowan on one thing. I don't think he does well at City because they play the same. They play the exact same way.
I also want to just say that I agree. I think he doesn't system either.
So the thing with City is that
better players around him.
Did you see Jack Grealish's first goal that he scored? It basically hit him and went inside. When you play for City, you just have to be at the right place because the balls are coming in. It's not a hopeful ball that Tierney is going to play every time. They have measured balls that come in. They've got quality players. That is why they can play that brand of football.
He's not the Aubameyang that we saw at Dortmund, that we brought in January of 2018, that we saw in 2019. He's not the Aubameyang that we saw against Spurs 3 weeks ago now.
I just don't see how the system is responsible for Aubameyang missing so many chances. I don't think it's a system that makes him take a swipe at the ball in the penalty area, totally kick it out and fall over. That's not the system. That is the player.
But
he misses chances, man.
Could it be
his finishing percentages? I've not looked them up, but it has to be
bad. But I guarantee you, Stan, that those percentages have gone down since Arteta took over.
Yeah.
So the argument there could be, and you're right. If it's a dead red center,
I'm not talking about him being outside the box trying to curl one in.
I know exactly what you mean.
In the penalty box,
right? But think of it this way: he's not used to playing a certain way, the way that Arteta wants him to play. So that doesn't really suit him. So he's not playing to his strengths, and therefore, when the ball does find itself onto his foot, he's not used to that. He's not used to the ball coming to him in that manner.
I don't buy that. I don't mean to be rude at all, but that sounds like an excuse for somebody that, as long as he's played the game, the ball falls him in the penalty area, and some of the things that I've seen, you should be tucking those away.
Oh, sure. I don't disagree with you. And you're not being rude at all.
There is some credence with the system, because the other thing that I see him doing is being sometimes the guy that's trying to cross the ball in. And I think that the system shouldn't be employing Aubameyang to be the guy providing crosses, because that's not what he should be being paid to do. So I do give it, there is times when the system has him doing that. I think, why? But then when he is in the box, when he is receiving chances, of late, last season as well, his finishing is just been really poor in my eyes. Really, really poor.
It has been.
And I'm an Aubameyang fan. I like the guy.
Stan, do you agree with Ryan that winter transfer window we need a striker before a midfielder?
No.
I didn't say that, but yeah.
Well, you did say striker.
I said we need to sign one, which we do. I think I in my opinion we do. And in front of a midfielder, I mean, with AFCON, I mean, that's
only in the respects that we're short in numbers there. But do we need to do something up front? Yeah. We do. If it was me personally, I'd rip it up and start completely from scratch. I would replace both Aubameyang and Lacazette and start from scratch.
You know what drives me crazy is months and months ago, there was talk, and it was, solidified, it was really happening, that Martinelli was in training to be a striker. Never heard anything after that. What, did he bomb out? Is it an ongoing thing? I don't know, but I thought he was going to eventually be an option.
I think I don't want to say he bombed out, but I think he played twice as a striker for us, and he did not play well in either game. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what Martinelli's deal is, but I'll go a step further. And I know we're arguing with Aubameyang and the system. I don't even think it's a system. I think he just doesn't I think Lacazette plays better with the 10 people that we normally put out there, with Saka, with ESR. I feel like I really haven't seen him play with Odegaard too much, but I'll even say with Odegaard, with Pepe, I think he just plays better with those guys. And I mean, you could say system all you want, which I agree. I think the system doesn't suit Aubameyang, but I think it comes down to the players, and I think Lacazette is plays better with the players, and I think we could upgrade on Lacazette and get someone better than him who can play well with the players that we have. Because let's face it, ESR not going anywhere, Saka not going anywhere. We're essentially building around them. So we need to find a Lacazette type of player who's maybe a little taller, a little more physical, but does what Lacazette does.
Which was the best game of the season that we played?
The best game of this season?
Yeah.
I mean, Tottenham.
Yeah. And who were the front four in that?
What was it?
Saka, ESR, and Odegaard.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best because when we play,
has Lacazette started?
That is how
has Lacazette started for us this season
in the Premier League. No,
but he would not have played as well in that game because that's not his game.
How do you know that?
Because that's not his game to play in that way.
But you can't. But you don't know that.
Lacazette's game is to go in the center of the field and then just like just stand there or like run slowly or something. Like all the counter attacks that we did, all of that was also possible because Aubameyang was there.
I get what you're saying, but have we played like that at all this season besides that game? And no, the answer is no. But to even double back,
we don't score in 50% of our game.
Double back on that, Tottenham didn't even play midfield. They left gaps in the field. Harry Kane flopped balls in the box and let us counter. I mean, I'm not saying Tottenham played bad. We did play well, but
no, correct. That was the easiest game. That was the easiest game that we will play all season, in my opinion. But that was the game. That was what we were dealt with, right? Like those are the hands, and you had to play the hands, right? Like that is what it is. Like I don't know what is the problem with that. Like we are much better playing counter-attacking football. And what is the harm in that? This one, Liverpool realized that they are not as good as City. They don't try to force it. What happened when they were playing against 10-man Chelsea, trying to break them down? If City was playing against 10-man Chelsea, City would have broken them down. Liverpool just couldn't do it. Liverpool scored their goals on the counter. They own how they play. But we are trying to adapt into something with players who are like 5 times better than us because they cost like 10 times more than us, right? That is what they have. They have a Grealish who can dribble the hell out of the ball, and then with one flick he can take 3 players out of the game. Do we have any players like that? Then why do we keep persisting with this time? And then we'll go ahead and blame someone who has the runs in the box, who has the skill to be in the right place at the right time and score those goals. But no, we want that.
But he doesn't do that though.
Because there's no opportunity to do it.
I disagree with you. I don't think that's the case. He's very lazy. He doesn't track back. He doesn't help out when we need him to. I think he got up, and I said this on the show when we played Tottenham. He got up for the Tottenham game because he realized the last time we played them, he came late. We benched him and we won. So now he's like, well, fuck. I gotta whip my dick out and show these guys what to do because I got embarrassed.
That would have not been possible if we weren't playing in that way. The reason was not just that they didn't have a midfield, so we decided let's go quick in 3 passes, let's go inside. We have got many opportunities to do that in several games, but we don't do that. We just pass side to side.
I disagree. Tottenham really left us wide open.
I see again with this. Lacazette should go. Because I like Lacazette. He's done okay, but he's not done exceptionally well. He needs to go. Nketiah, we have seen enough. He needs to go. Balogun, he may be leaps and bounds better than the under 23s, but I have seen him playing in the Premier League. In the first game he played in the Premier League, he's not good enough. That's the truth. He's maybe somewhere in between. And we don't need to be that club. Tammy Abraham was doing really well for Chelsea. They sold him. They weren't like this guy is leaps and bounds ahead of the
We
other.
should have fucking bought him.
He's an England international. They sold him. We would have bought him. I think what we should do is, obviously, Aubameyang needs to stay. We need to, play to his strengths, to the strengths of the team, which is counter-attacking football, not put this pressure on this team.
I don't agree. Who's a better counter-attacker? You can maybe argue Pepe. That's about it. Who else is a better counter-attacker?
Yesar and Saka have the pace and
agree.
the precision to play it that way.
Yeah, but they also have they also can play Arteta's way too. I agree with what you're saying.
I don't think they have
Hey, I guess I disagree. That's fine. And real quick to Why Not's comment. When you only have 30% possession in a game against Brighton, your striker has to play a little bit of defense. Your striker has to man mark a little bit and come back a little bit. And I get it. He's not a left wing back. He's not a CDM, but your striker's got to do something defensively when you only see the ball 30% of the game. I know it ended up being like 39%, but it was 30 for a long part of the game. So, yeah.
And it's all on him, is it?
I didn't say it was on him. I just think we're better with Lacazette. I'm not blaming Aubameyang. I'm not saying Aubameyang is the reason we suck.
If he wants to play that slow style of football, then I agree with you. That if that is how he wants to play, then play Lacazette.
And Arteta's our manager, so
he holds up the ball better than Aubameyang. Yeah. I agree with that. He brings in players better than Aubameyang. I agree with that. If that is how you want to play, but I feel that the team will score more goals and be more exciting if you're playing on the counter, because
talk to Arteta. Go to his office. He's our manager. I'm not saying I want him to be there. I'm not saying he's the guy to take us forward.
Whoa. Stan, what kind of paranormal activity shit is going on behind you? Your door just opened.
I think the cat might have come in and around.
Maybe. Whoops. Forgot about that.
I hope. I didn't look.
I just saw the door open. I'm like,
I didn't see it, so.
Is it?
Yeah, it was probably the cat just walking in.
I hope so.
But for your sake, I hope so too.
I don't disagree with you, Ryan, but like the fact is, we're not playing that way, and we're not going to just be like, "Hey, Arteta, let's play counter." He's like, "You know what, you guys? You know what, Rohan? You're fucking right. Let's do it. Aubameyang, Pepe, you're in. Let's do this. This is not going to happen." And I don't like. We're not. I don't want to say we're not playing good. We're not playing attractive football, but like we're not losing. We're kind of we kind of. I don't want to say steady the ship, but we're playing a little better.
Against Brighton.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Point to point. It was a hard 4-point defensively, and that's another thing too that I wanted to bring up, but I forgot. There's so many fucking people. There's one person. I'm not going to name this name, but this person, he's a big X lover, so he already lost a point in my book. But he's calling people melts and talking about how poorly we were defensively. We kept a clean sheet. It's got to yeah, I get it. Tomiyasu probably didn't have his best game. Tierney didn't play well either. But we kept a clean sheet. They didn't score. They didn't score any goals on us. To say we were shambolic defensively and how poor we are defensively, I don't think that really makes any fucking sense. But I digress.
A, I'm sorry about my technical difficulties, and B, Ryan, I think that you can argue either side with facts and passion about whether it was a good point or drop points. I really believe that there's two good arguments on both sides.
No, I agree.
So that's it.
But yeah, no, and just to close out my thing about Aubameyang, I think we could win, and we could maybe play better football in the contact. But Arteta's our manager. He thinks this is the best way to win. I'm just going to assume he knows more than me. He knows better than me, and I'm just going to concede to him, and we're going to keep playing this way. And
except for when it comes to Jack Wilshere.
Oh yeah, obviously. Well, to be fair, we haven't gave him a contract, so he obviously knows. So we probably know the same now.
You know who I would like? I'd like Calvert-Lewin. I think he will suit.
It's so funny, and I didn't want to bring up my bachelor party too much. One thing we did talk about, because I have a bunch of people that came, are Arsenal fans. We talked about Calvert-Lewin and Tammy Abraham, and my one friend Connor was like, "I want Calvert-Lewin. This is this."
Fuck, marry, kill was.
Yeah, we might have did a little bit of that. I don't remember. The Friday night was kind of a blur, but we talked about Tammy, we talked about Calvert-Lewin. Both players, I think, I do. I think both players improve us. Do they make us where we want to be? That's another situation. But we talked about, do you pay 40 for Tammy or 80 for Calvert? And then we the argument lasted quite a while. And I would rather have Tammy and spend more money on the midfielder. He was like, fuck that.
You
I
know
want
what
Calvert
the channel is thinking? I'd rather have COVID than attend this sort of a bachelor party.
That's what happened. So, but that was just one of the many things. But yeah, I do rate Calvert-Lewin. I think he would definitely help us. I just think we need. I think strikers. It's going to be a big issue. I think it already is, but I feel like I guess my whole point was I feel like everyone's dancing around it because it's Aubameyang, because he is the captain, because he owns the most money, and because he pretty much single-handedly won us the FA Cup. Everyone's like, it can't be Aubameyang. He's
I think
we
a lot of
replace
people.
him.
I think a lot of people like Stan just flat out. No, I don't like him. I think there's a lot of people like that.
No, I think there are people, but I feel like it's not talked about enough because he's such a prolific player, and I think he still is a good player. And I agree with Ryan. I think if he goes somewhere else, he plays well. I don't give a fuck. He could go anywhere else and win the Champions League and fucking score 1 million goals. That's awesome. But if he's not helping us and he's not doing what we need him to do, then
when it comes to Aubameyang, I am on Team Rohan.
If I can have a brief say on this topic just real quick. So the fact is you don't want to play counterattacking football. Because if you're playing counterattacking football, you're simply giving the team the other ball, right? So in theory, you have to find the balance between, okay, well, what am I getting playing counterattacking football? What does counterattacking football look like? I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks fast. That's what it is. It's fast. That's the difference. You're not giving the other team a chance to set up. And what we do in our system is we put everybody behind the ball and then let the defense get set up into their block. And then we try for the Sports Center, like the Sports Center type goal where we broke down 8 players and scored a worldie. Find the happy medium between owning possession and playing fast. And we don't do that. It's one or the other. Figure out how to do both. Figure out how to own possession and play fast. Anytime we get the ball, when we're in possession and we're dominating possession, how many times have I said this? When we pass the ball, the receiver has his back to goal. And then he has to make a half turn. Then he has to make his move. We don't ever put the ball into the path of someone to let them run onto it. Well, figure out how to do that and dominate possession as well, right? That's the key. Everybody has to move. When I played basketball when I was a kid, my coach, the one thing he always said, motion. He would just yell motion. And he was yelling it when we were all standing around. Move. I watched this team play.
Bitch, get out the way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like seriously, can we get Ludacris on the touchline in the technical area to be?
Can we get him on the halftime show for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, right. Awesome. He's already been. I think he's already been part of the halftime show.
Oh, Ed, put him in, throw him in there.
Sorry, but BG, I wasn't laughing at you.
No,
I was just picturing. I was just picturing a 5th grader with a full beard playing basketball.
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, I'm serious though. Like when we're dominating possession, when we're having those games where it's like this is awful. Like I'd rather watch paint dry than watch this. We have the ball, we own possession, we just don't do anything with it. And why don't we do anything with it? Because one guy has the ball, he kicks it 2 steps forward, and he's looking around and he's going like. He's like Ted Lasso in the scene from the first season. I would like the ball. Give me the ball. I would like the ball. Can I have the ball? Give me the ball. Nobody's doing that. No one is doing that. Everyone is like, it's like, this is my spot. I'm in my spot. And it's like, everybody look over at Arteta. Put your hand up if you're on your spot. I'm on my spot, coach. I'm on my spot, coach. I'm good. Okay. All right. Now your spot's over there. And now you have to run here. But you have to come back. That's what Arteta does. That's his system.
Yeah,
that's his system. Everybody run to this spot. Okay, now run to your next spot. Now run to your next spot. It's like teaching movement to a marching band. You go, okay, here's your first shape, make that shape. Okay, here's the next shape, and everybody go make that shape. Here's the next one, everybody go make that shape. This
show is going to be This
Go
show's
ahead.
going to be really interesting next Tuesday after the Crystal Palace game, because that's going to be a tough game. I mean, they beat Tottenham 3-0, so
Well,
and they got some weapons. So, if we pull out a win there, I expect a little more positivity out of you guys.
I mean, positivity, you gotta win, right?
We're going to be facing Stan's boy, Edward.
Yeah.
Edward in that game, and Crystal Palace have been playing well. They've actually, Vieira has got them playing.
Yeah,
that is what a good coach does, right? Like, I mean, he's got them playing really well in 5-6 games.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2 years, after 2 years of Arteta being in charge, we still don't know what exactly our style is, or even if that we know what the style is, it's not working.
That's the thing. I mean, we all know now. We all see what he wants to do. We know what Arteta wants to do.
Could you tell me?
I
don't know.
He wants to dominate possession, Glenn.
Okay.
He wants to dominate possession. He wants to break down. He wants to break down a defensive block, and he wants to score a goal like a layup. He wants the easy goal. That's what he wants. The problem is he doesn't know how to get it, because too often we see one guy in the box, two guys out wide, and everybody else is behind him. That's what we see. So it's like, well, you want the easy tap in goal, but you
are too afraid to commit.
Yeah. Put everybody in the, get guys in the box, and if that's what you want to do, overload the box and create a I can't think of the word I'm looking for here. It just outnumber them in the box, basically. Create chaos.
What do you guys want to see up front against Crystal Palace? I want Saka, Aubameyang, and hey Ryan, I want ESR instead of Pepe, and Odegaard. What do you guys want to see up front against Crystal Palace?
Same. I want Tottenham game on repeat. So
this game's gonna go one of two ways. Either we're gonna play him like Tottenham, in which I obviously want Aubameyang for that, or it's gonna be like the Brighton game, which I want Lacazette for. So it's gonna be interesting because Palace love to press. They're a very pressy team. Difference with them and Brighton is they have a little bite to their bark. They have Zaha, they have Edouard. They have players we should probably worry about as far as scoring. But I think they're going to leave more holes in the midfield and defense like Tottenham. So I think we should play counterattacking football. I think we need to expose them because I think as a team, I think Brighton worry me more, but I think Palace have the better weapons on attack. I think their defense is suspect, and we can get at them, and we need to do that. The one thing I will say, and I swear, Rohan, I'm not picking on you today, I promise. You talk about, Palace being like, they're playing good. Vieira's got this team playing well. They're 1-4-2. They're not that good. They're not playing well. They played well against Brighton.
They beat West Ham. They beat Tottenham.
They did. No. They did not beat West Ham. They drew West Ham. The only game they won, they beat the Scum, which, as the weeks pass by, it's looking like it's not a hard thing to do. They don't seem like they're really a good team right now. They're not playing well. I do think Palace offer more an attack, but I think what they offer an attack, they can leave for us to get at. So hopefully, I think we could play counterattacking football, and if all things go well, yeah, I do want to play Aubameyang. Yes, I want to counterattack, but this is not what Arteta likes to do. It seems like so.
I am dying to hear. I am dying to hear who Stan and BG want up front. I'm dying.
Stan, you've been quiet for a while, so please have a say.
I'm just fucking sat here shitting myself that my house is haunted or some shit. So I keep looking at the door.
Did it happen on camera?
But I've not looked back yet. I think it was the cat. It fucking better be the cat. But
it's the cat.
It was the cat. I didn't see the cat, but
wait,
it was probably the cat.
Wait, guys, we have a chance for like a bunch of views. Stan, you have to say out loud, if someone's here, close or open that door.
The
No,
cat's
no.
right behind him.
The cat just jumped up
Cat's
behind
fucking right
himself.
behind Stan.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Okay,
encouraging
I'm watching
anything.
too many of those ghost shows. Who do you want up front, Stan?
Yeah, I'd go with Aubameyang still. You know, I think I would echo exactly what Ryan was saying about their defence. It can be got at. And I would also echo exactly what Rohan was saying about I want to see a replication of what we did at Tottenham. You know, we've seen what these players are capable of. You know, this is Mikel Arteta's team now. It wasn't a team of other players. It was his players that mostly made up that team. So, you know, let's see them replicate what we saw against Tottenham. We know that they're going to have off weeks. They're young. There will be inconsistencies. We're still on an unbeaten run, by the way, which isn't bad. And we're still on an unbeaten run. So let's go and get 3 points now against Palace.
Yeah.
That would be sweet. It'd be so sweet.
Just to mention, the record was very easy to say, but Crystal Palace played the first game was bad, which was 3-0 against Chelsea, which was a bad display by them. They had nothing to them. But after that, they played Brentford 0-0, and we know how Brentford have been. They drew 2-2 at West Ham, and West Ham have been in form. They had a 3-0 win over Tottenham. We beat them 3-1, so they had a better scoreline than us. They played Liverpool, who are going to smash us up as well. They got smashed up 3-0 there, but they played better than this. Zaha had a couple of chances. It could have gone the other way as well. They had a 1-1 draw against Brighton, who we drew against 0-0, and we just escaped from there. As much as you want to, just look at the scoreline and say that we were competitive, we were not. We got away with one. That's 1 point gain for us with the way that we played. And they played Leicester and drew 2-2.
They also have a loanee.
Leicester are not a good team right now. And West Ham is 3-2-2. I don't think West Ham.
And they were, by the way,
beating
like they
anyone
were
crazy.
losing. They were losing 2-0 to Leicester in the first half, and they came back to draw 2-2 in the second half. So Patrick Vieira has got them playing. I've watched some of their games. They are not going to be an easy one. I saw someone saying that we're going to slap them up 2-0. I'd love it for us to do that, but I don't have that sort of confidence.
They have a kid on loan from Chelsea also.
Monday night under the lights, what else do you want? I want a vintage Arsenal performance, man. Fuck, like this has just been too long. And all of this, like, I don't like doing this shit. Like, I want us to be performing. Like, give me a performance, Wenger performance, man. That's what I want.
Yeah, and they also have that loanee from Chelsea that's doing really well.
I was just gonna bring him up, Conor Gallagher. He
That's his name.
He single-handedly drew
Gallagher
the
is
game against West Ham. He scored both their goals. He was their player of the match. Without him, West Ham would have trounced Palace off the field.
Rohan, you didn't give us your 3 up front.
Yeah,
Yes, he did.
3 up front is
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Same as Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. The BG.
Same as Tottenham.
Oh, okay.
Same as Tottenham. There's no reason. I mean, look, Lacazette hasn't started a game in the Premier League all year, and
he's not going to start now.
And he's not going to start now. So, who would I? I mean, who would I start? I'd start the same 4. I would if I'm given it's my choice to make. If all of a sudden I want a contest and I got to choose the starting 11 for Arsenal, I'd choose the same 4. Odegaard, ESR, Saka, and Aubameyang. I'm not going to switch it up. But if it's 0-0 at halftime and we're toothless in attack, I see that's the other thing too. Everybody worries about these players' feelings. I don't want to go off on a tangent here because we're at 2 hours and I want to log off. But I'm so sick of I'm so sick of hearing that. Oh well, you can't sub Aubameyang at halftime. You're going to hurt his feelings. Really? I'm going to hurt his fucking feelings. I don't get that. I just don't get that. Are you in the business of protecting feelings or winning games? You're right. I'm sorry. It's protecting feelings. I forgot that's the day and age we live in now, where we're not allowed to hurt other people's feelings. Jesus Christ. If he's not playing well, if the team isn't playing well, if we're toothless and we look absolutely devoid of creativity, yeah, I'm going to change something at halftime. Fucking Christ. Like, I just don't get that mentality of, you can't sub him off at halftime. You're going to hurt his feelings. I'm not here to fucking worry about his feelings. I'm here to win a game. That's my job. My job is to win. That's my job. And I think too often in this sport, that gets lost to, well, play pretty football. Winning is pretty. Winning is pretty. Do I want it to be pretty with a win? Yes, but win. Al Davis said it best. Back to the NFL. Back to Mark Davis. But Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby. That's all it's about. So I don't give a shit about feelings. If
I'm gonna try to tweet a picture out of Mark Davis just so people know what kind of.
Oh my God! It's
Large March.
Time to go.
Came.
I love this though because that's like the alarm for the show now. Like, okay, because Glenn, it's always at 2 hours. It's always we literally just passed 2 hours, and it always goes off at 2 hours. Always.
Because
so you get 2 hours. So it's, Glenn, you have to go. Say goodnight.
I will say goodnight, but I just want to say one thing to add to what you were saying, BG, which is yes, Aubameyang start, but don't wait too long to bring in Laka because last game Lacazette in his limited time had just as many passes as Aubameyang in the game.
Same amount. Yep.
So anyway, thanks guys. Gotta go.
Later, buddy.
Oh my
God. Rowan, go ahead with a final word. And we thought we'd have trouble filling 2 hours tonight.
Yeah, seriously. Final word. It's 25 years since Wenger took his first game in charge. Like first game 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 5 that happened 25 years ago. And what a legacy he left behind. He's the reason why I am an Arsenal fan. You know, the brand of football that we played, and that's somehow lost right now. And I agree with you. It should start with winning. Beggars can't be choosers. I can't say how we have to win. And winning, but on the flip side, winning sometimes is not under our control because we can't control how the other team plays and how well they're going to play. But what we can do is not just set up for a draw and not just set up for a boring game. You know, a football game is 90 minutes and I want to enjoy those 90 minutes, right? Like, so big up Wenger for his legacy and let's get the 3 points and hopefully it'll be entertaining.
Yeah. Ryan?
Yeah, I don't disagree with Ryan. But what I will say is I hope we play Palace like Tottenham and not like Brighton. If we see shades of Brighton coming in, I think we need to make adjustments and Lacazette needs to come on. Granted, it's tough to play like we played against Tottenham because Tottenham kind of just told us like this is how you're going to beat us. They gave us the roadmap and we just did it brilliantly. So I won't say that they played bad. We did play well. But yeah, I just hope for us to get back on the right foot. You know, we have this long national break. A lot of our players played really well, a lot of goals, a lot of assists. So hopefully we can translate that to the field and hopefully Arteta sees this, that Partey is scoring free kicks. Not saying we should put him on free kicks, but just like little things across the international break that Arteta could do and hopefully you know, and improve his coaching ability and improve our game. So yeah.
Stan.
Basically, I already said my final word. What I said a few minutes ago. So let's just get them 3 points, and I want the run to continue. Want to run now, so let's just keep it going. I can't wait till Monday. I'm looking forward to seeing what we do on Monday. I've got interest back again, so I'm ready now. The interlude's gone on long enough. You know, let's get back to work.
Yeah, that's I'll echo that. Time to get back to work. Exactly. That's it for us, everybody. We are out of here. Same bat time, same bat channel next Tuesday. We will be back with, now that I'm finally starting to feel better and get a corner turned here. We'll be back with more shows this week. Pre and post game show next Monday for Crystal Palace. You guys know the Beagle thing. Check out it's at Camp. Just search Camp Beagle on Twitter. If you're on Instagram, search Camp Beagle there as well. You can search the hashtag Free the MBR Beagles and do anything you can to help that cause out. I personally would greatly appreciate it. Thank you everybody for watching. Stan, you want to shout out the chat just real quick? Usual cast of suspects.
We've had RYN in there, a name that I've not recognised. How London Lone Star, Mikey Hertz, You're Not Sentiment FC, Love Arsenal, Hate Cronky was in there as well. And BX Gunner was in there as well. I hope I've not missed anyone out. Rinat Sahab was in there as well. Thank you all for coming in. Gary, Don't Waste a Tweet, was in there. Thanks for coming in as usual. If you've been watching the show, please hit the like button on your way out, as it would really help us.
Yep. Just on that note, we crossed over 1,000 subscribers on VG Media. So stay tuned. You might be winning a 21-22 Arsenal home kit personalized with the name and number of your choosing. Keep it clean if you do win. So that's it. That's all we got for you guys. We'll see you out there. Good footy talk as always.